In this video we are going to set up a control node. So what is a control node? Well, the control node is where the Ansible software is installed. And you will work as an operator from the control node to make sure that your configuration is pushed to all the managed assets. And the Ansible software itself can be installed in different ways. First, you can install from the distribution repositories, and that will get access to the latest stable Ansible software. It is also possible to install from the Python pip3 installer, and that will get access to the latest and greatest. Notice that the latest and greatest isn't always stable, and that is why installing from the repositories is recommended. But there is a situation that we need to talk about. Currently, while I am recording, the software that is installed from the repositories is Ansible 2.9. something. And from pip, you will get Ansible 2.11 in the current state. And there is a big difference between 2.9 and 2.11, and that is the fact that in Ansible 2.10 working with collections has become the default. You will notice that working with collections is quite different from working with modules and without collections. But the thing is, if you are preparing for RHCSA at this moment, the old approach is still what you need to know. And if you want to prepare for the future and you want to learn about the latest and greatest, you should learn about collections. And that is why I'm going to show you how to set up Ansible 2.9 on Rocky from the repositories, and also how to set up Ansible using the pip installer on Fedora. Let me show you. So here we are on the Rocky based control node. I'm in a user account with sudo privileges. And let me start by showing you etc Red Hat release, which is showing that I'm on Rocky Linux release 8.5. So first I need to use sudo dnf install epel release. And that is because on Rocky, the Ansible software is in epel, the extra packages for enterprise Linux. If you are on Red Hat, you need to register your system, and you can use Subscription Manager to get access to the Red Hat repository for Ansible. But epel would also work. So now I've used epel release, which is giving me access to the epel repository, and I can use sudo dnf install -y Ansible. So what do we see? We see the Ansible software is being installed together with some dependencies. The dependencies are all Python 3 based packages, and that's for the simple reason that Ansible is developed on top of Python. So you need a Python stack in order to work with Ansible. The good news is you don't need to be a Python programmer, because Ansible is really taking away all the need for you to know about Python. So let's do Ansible -version. And there we can see that I am on Ansible 2.9.27, and it is showing some more information about the current working Ansible environment as well. And guess what? This is all that you need to know to install the Ansible software. Of course, there's additional configuration that's involved as well, but that is coming later. For now, we are good with the Ansible coming from the repositories. Let's also have a look at Fedora. So here I am on the Fedora machine, and I'm using sudo pip3 install Ansible. Oops, and we don't have pip3. Okay, let's fix that. Sudo dnf provides /pip. DNF provides is a nice way to find packages that contain certain software. And of course I know which package contains the pip installer, but it makes sense to know how to find software in case you need a package that doesn't happen to be installed. So there we go, we see lots of packages, and we just need to check. Here we have user bin pip. User bin pip seems good enough to me, and it is coming from Python 3 pip. So let's do Python 3 pip. Sudo dnf install Python 3 pip. Yes, that is okay, and that is giving us access to the Python 3 pip installer. Now notice that this Python 3 pip installer is great, it's awesome, but it also has a disadvantage that you install software independent from the normal mechanisms for installing software. That's another way why you shouldn't be doing this. So sudo pip install Ansible is giving me Ansible software. Also, one thing to realize, if you do install Ansible using pip, the paths, that is the locations where you will find typical files, are quite different from what we will see on the Red Hat based installation, which we are doing on Rocky, by the way, not exactly on Red Hat. All right, so it's telling me that it's successfully installed Ansible. So do we have Ansible, Ansible -- version? And Ansible -- version is giving me what? It's giving me 2.12.1. Can you figure that? We are already at 2.12.1. And again, the main difference is in the collections. No worries, I'll teach you about collections throughout this course, but I will also explain why I'm not immediately making a big deal out of it, because it's not such a big deal. For now, we are ready to get started. Let's continue.